What is going on, guys? It's Yoji with 2.1 right around the corner. I just wanted to let you know my plans for the upcoming Talisman League, give you an update on all of my previous build guides, passive trees, and let you know what my impressions and thoughts are on the upcoming passive tree and balancing changes. In addition to that, if you want your build reviewed by me for some reason, maybe it's a very hipster build and I'm the hipster build expert after all, you can tweet at me at its_Yoji and I will see what I can do. When I read the manifesto post about the upcoming skill and mechanics changes, I was all like, yes, yes, finally! Late game spell damage buffs, more base AoE across the board for skills, melee splash finally usable, leech buffed and available for elemental builds, mana costs reduced and mana buffed, bows and bow skills buffed for fizz bow leveling, minions buffed for leveling purposes as well, more chains for arc and magma blob is awesome as well. In addition, the Searing bond totem seems like a really cool idea too. This is almost my exact wish list for 2.1 changes. Minus a fix to specters that would make it so that we won't have to resummon them all the time when we log out, and hope for the right specters to appear in maps for us to use them. But hey, 9 out of 10 points is still freaking great. I was so happy. Also, all the nerfs appear to be somewhat justified as well. Then I went over the passive tree, and while a lot of it looked really cool at first, the more I started playing with it and making different trees for all the different builds I had in mind, the more I started disliking some of the changes. So let's get over what changed. New chaos and fizz nodes. Tasty! And make total sense with the new chaos and physical spells coming up. Trappers got a huge buff with cooldown nodes and damage buffs and better node placement. Tasty! The new ranger start I'm mostly loving as well, except for this wheel which seems kind of clunky. Also, the whole shadow start around this area feels a little bit wonky to use. And yes, that's all of the new stuff basically. I mean, what is this pathing? It just feels wrong to path like this. Also, sniper, go home, you're drunk. And while we're at it, finally someone fixed this abomination of a life cluster. See, in the bottom left we got this life cluster. It's very nice. In the top right we got this hybrid cluster. It's also very nice. In the top left, we got this chaos resistance and life cluster, which is solid. And then there's this avoid status ailments and pure life cluster, which for some reason does not connect down here like all the other ones do. And also does not really offer anything besides life. The whole pathing around it just makes it annoying to get. I was just really hoping for an improvement to this situation. Also, life has been a problem for Shadow and the right side of the tree for a while now, since 2.0. And Blood Siphon lost a little bit of life here and there, that makes the situation even worse. I guess we're all just stuck playing Scions now forever, because the Scion life wheel is still intact. And you will never leave me, right, Scion life wheel? You will never leave me. Please say you will never leave me. But wait, what? Guess the Scion start got nerfed as well. Life region nodes down, spell damage down, projectile damage down. You know what? That's it. I mean, I've always been a right and top side of the tree player. Bows, spectral throw, wands, summoners, spellcasters, trappers, crit builds in general have always been my thing. But maybe it is time to move to the playable side of the tree. Instead of the I wish this would work side of the tree I've been playing on for a while now. And after all, I like trying out new things and I've not played the left side of the tree much at all. So next league, for the first time since Nemesis, I will not roll a summoner as my first build. Instead, I will make a Templar, and without pants I will try to endure all the hardships of Rayclast. My first character for Talisman will be a Magic Find Templar, utilizing the newly buffed Searing bond together with Ancestral bond and Flame Totems. Yes, Flame Totems. I have not played Magic Find since the release of the game and a lot has changed since then, so I'm excited how this will go. Also, I want to see where the newly nerfed Flame Totem will stand, and see if Searing bond can help out in the early game, where Flame Totem was supposed to be nerfed the most. My tree has a lot of resistances because Magic Find gear usually is lacking resists or even penalizing them. We got over 180% max life, so hopefully it will be hardcore viable as well. And I just got all the efficient damage nodes in the vicinity. As you can clearly see, Marauder start would work as well, but I like having some extra damage in the early game. You can find the passive tree in the description below. And before any of you say totems are boring, you just have to find the right twist, and your totems can be quite fun. I also put an updated version of the Summoner League start passive tree into the video description below. With minions being buffed for the early levels, you will have to try and see how zombies and specters work for you during the early levels. I would still recommend using some spells to help your minions out in the early game, and the tree is basically the same as before. You just maybe pick up some minion nodes earlier on, if you find leveling with minions actually works for you. The crit ice spear build basically looks the same as before, but I linked it as well. And the range attack totem tree got some minor changes. Now picking up some more flask nodes, which is great. If you're interested in the lazy Windripper build, there's also a tree in the video description. I recommend trying out if the mana leech is enough to sustain it without blood magic. After reading the full patch notes, I'm overall very happy with the majority of changes. Lots of buffs that could increase build diversity. I'd mainly like to see some of the constraints we've had with the passive tree for a while now removed, especially on the right side. The need to fulfill the high life requirements in a hardcore environment has made most of my builds use basically the same pathing with minor variations. That being said, I'm still extremely excited for Talisman League and all the new skills and mechanics that got changed. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't already for more content like this in the future. I am Yoji and I will see you soon.